Hello, everyone. Welcome back again to Caffeinated Connections. With me, your host, Caleb McCartney, and I'm joined back again, so quick, isn't it, by the gracious Marc Palumbo, and I'm joined here also by his director of his new show that is coming out very soon, and we'll talk more about that, and that's 1986?
No.
Damn it.
1984. But that's the perfect intro. So people know exactly what to come see. They can come see 1984.
4, not 6.
Yeah. And no, this is Mac over here.
Hello.
Mac kind of came onto the project with me, and has been a really great collaborator. I think remember the last time I came on. When was that, Caleb?
That was right before or after I graduated.
It was right before you graduated.
Yes, it was
and
right
we were just
before.
talking about that, and I was telling you about my experience of like being out for already a year, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, we're doing this and that." So how many months was that then?
That was, March, April?
Yeah,
It was like
so.
2 weeks from graduation, so that was like mid-April-ish.
Mhm. Yeah, and that was I've been working with Mac though for a little bit. We've been collaborating together, and I actually met Mac through a friend of mine that when I was starting my acting class. I remember when I came on, I was saying how I had kind of something planned, and I was trying to start them. And I think I put it on the podcast.
Yeah, actually, that was the first announcement of.
I was like, yeah, we're gonna do like Playbox, and that was kind of coming around then. But before he was even Playbox, we were calling it like the Actors Lab, because we were just bringing a group of friends together, a group of actors together to work and to learn together, to grow together. And I met Mac through a fellow actor, and that I met at a restaurant. I literally just went there.
You meet people in the strangest of ways, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, that's life, isn't it?
I mean, we met. You were reading a book.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if we talked about it on the last podcast.
No, I don't think so.
I met you in Boulevard Apartments. You were reading a book.
That's
by the
crazy.
elevator.
I don't read books now. It doesn't at all. I don't remember the last time I read a book now, and that's bad.
He's sitting all stoic and everything.
No. He was sitting all exactly. That was exactly what he was doing, and I was just like, he seems interesting to talk to because he's reading a book. He's smart. He knows how to read.
Now, do you remember what book I was reading?
No.
Mark
Yeah,
Rose.
Probably somewhere you have it somewhere, or maybe it was for class, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But no, I appreciate you having me on, and I was thinking of sharing it eventually, but I was like, oh, you know what, I'll share it on here with you, and I thought that was some cool news break before I even made any announcements that it was kind of happening, and
that episode has a ton of downloads.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Like
how many downloads?
2,000 plus.
You're kidding.
In 16 different countries.
That's nice.
Wow. Where did you spread it out to?
Word of mouth, friends blasted it, and basically word of mouth is just spread it in LinkedIn.
Then cool. That's awesome. Yeah. No. It was. I really appreciate you having me on, and I'm happy to be back, and I'm happy to bring on a phenomenal director, who hails from Texas. I'll kind of let him speak for himself, but Mac and I have been working together for a little bit here now. And I think we've developed a really nice relationship in terms of how we work together, because this is our first show that we're putting on, 1984. And for those who don't know, it'll be in December, the first week, the 4th through the 7th. If you'd like to come see the show, you can come to 937 Liberty Avenue from those dates. You can get tickets at playboxproductions.com. I just had to put the plug in.
I'm stuck.
I just had to put the plug
Sorry,
in. I'm sorry, I had to. I had to let people. I had to let the people know.
There's going to have to be some compensation there. And then
what do you? Whoa.
I'm kidding.
You can come to media night. There is a media night.
You know what? Yes, I'll take you up on the media night. And that's more than enough.
That'll be December 2nd. We have Pittsburgh Magazine coming. Sean Collier. We have Berg Vivant. I think it's going to be there.
I don't even know who that is.
They do a lot of the theater reviews in the city, and then hopefully maybe we get Life Magazine to come. Who knows?
That would be so cool. I don't know. He's very busy in his time. I haven't fully announced that, so you may have spoiled it a little bit. But
No.
no.
Oh no! Oh, bro. Oh boy. Well, I didn't say anything.
Yeah,
I said it like
maybe-
magazine.
yeah.
Just
Bleep it.
Yeah, no, yeah. We're just gonna scrub. But no, anyways, with the collaborations that you guys have been doing, I've always wondered. Like, I've only heard from you how you work. So so talking about Mark, how do you work with Mark? Because I know that his style of working is advantageous as hell.
Yeah.
And how do you manage to pick up what he's putting down?
Yeah, man. I definitely. I think the first time I met Mark, it was really strange. And right away I saw his like work ethic, because I feel like just in this industry and just where we're at, a lot, especially people our age, where we're still young and up and comers, man. We're still like getting it. We're still getting it out the mud and everything like that. And bro's only like 24 and he's putting on this whole thing. So I think for me that was like, whoa. Wait a second, we got a little like headedness here. Like there's something going on. We got the same tail. And so with that, I saw everything that he was doing and I was just like, man, I want to get in this. And so it was my roommate at the time. He was an actor in Mark's playbox, pre-playbox
our
acting
class.
lab. Yeah. And so he told me, he was like, Mac, you got to get in this, and stuff like that. And he was like, I was like, bro, they got stuff for directors. And he was like, yeah. Bro lied. Bro 100% lied. And, I got a call from Mark Palumbo. And the funny thing is that your headshot popped up like for the call. And I was like, bro, what?
This guy's official.
Wait, like initially, but
Yes, initially, like just when you called me, it didn't even, like, bro, it just said it for some reason. And get the call, and then you're like, yeah, I got this acting lab. You're an actor, right? And I was just like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And bro, I haven't acted in like forever, right? I haven't acted in forever. And I was just like, whatever. And so I went afterwards. I was like, bro, why would you tell me this is like a directing thing and it was an acting thing? He was like, bro, listen, like you got to get in where you get in. You got to like put yourself out there. You never know what.
Even though you haven't acted in years.
Right. Yeah, you got to put yourself out there in order to see what would come of this, right? And of course, this came, and so through this, I saw Mark's headedness, and he has like a brute force attitude with just going in, and so that's kind of just like the way we both are. But his mind thinks differently than mine, right? Like this dude is the best billionaire who ever was.
Yeah, I'm no billionaire.
Not yet. They're not yet.
I don't even know if I want to be. I definitely don't want to be a billionaire.
Not a billionaire as in the
Well, an ethical billionaire.
Maybe.
not the billionaire that's gonna mess over the people, but I think Mark is the person that's gonna bring the people together, right? So that's just kind of the way he works, and so with his knowledge of all that, man, I'm just able to just do my thing, and so like I think the biggest thing is that he told me like don't switch up anything, just don't, where I've worked with producers before and they're like, hey man, maybe you got to be over here, and doing this and sub you down or like turn you down, and I'm like, man, I hate that. So like for the longest time I was just doing my own thing, and so I met this dude and he was just like, do you, bro, do you.
That's the best part about Mark.
Yeah, definitely so.
I think that's what makes him so. I come across a lot of prideful people, and a lot of prideful people can be off-putting, but in a way that they want their way.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that you interpret others' creative direction, you give them full control.
Yeah, I mean, me and Mac had a conversation beginning of the show, and we were like, look, and even though I've developed some of my connections already in what I'm doing and stuff like that, I can always grow, and we always do grow, and always continue to learn together. But it's my first time producing a show, so at the same time, like I've always been acting. So I just said, you know what, let's just do this. There's a couple people that we were initially like, let's put on a show, and we sort of ended up picking 1984. We could talk about that a little bit later, but whenever we kind of chose Mac to be the director for this, I had to learn. I had some growing pains, and I still do have some growing pains as we work together in terms of how that relationship really works, how it should work, how we each have our own perspectives of how that works, of how a director responds to a producer, and how we coincide together to make the best thing possible. So we had a lot of conversations about, where are these lines drawn? Because it's not just like, yeah, absolutely, I let Mac be Mac, and I'm myself. But when we're dealing with a massive team, there are 35 people 40 people, I think, involved in this
It's
production.
a pretty big.
It's massive.
It is
And
huge.
I was like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's just do a big show for the first show ever.
It's very
Let's just do a massive show.
You chose 1986 of all the shows.
1984, brother.
Oh, no, 84.
Oh my god.
I don't know why I was.
You gotta brush up on your oil, brother.
We gotta Animal Farm, man. What the heck?
Hey, I just picked that up.
There you go.
Yeah. But it's it's been a real pleasure. I've learned a ton from working with this guy, and it's not saying that we work perfectly together, but that's because we're able to talk with each other though, and we're able to break things down, and figure out what works, what doesn't, and really be honest with each other, which is what you need in a relationship to bring the best thing forward, right? We're not scared to tiptoe around. We're able to speak with each other, with empathy, with care, with love
And
for the project, with understanding, absolutely, to each other, to the project, to the people that work on the project, between the entire cast and crew. The crew is comprised of professionals of all around. We have Carnegie Mellon graduates. We have Point Park graduates. We have professionals in the industry, people that Mac brought up. Mac brought up some of his people from Texas.
Yeah.
I tried to use some of my connections, and we put together a group of people that are volunteering their time. They're volunteering their time because they believe in this show. They believe in what we're doing. They believe that this can make a difference in people's lives.
especially the show.
Yeah. So I think it's a privilege to work with this guy, and I would absolutely do it any time again. So I think you're gonna have a good time when you come see the show, and I think it's gonna be an eye opener.
I mean, for the time that it is in now, I mean, it's very current event based.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In 1986.
Yeah. You gotta get it.
Oh,
You gotta get it. This is good. This is good now. This is getting good now. I think if you're not doing this on purpose now, I'm like, all right, we could use this. We'll keep editing it up. Before we go any further with your 1986 stuff, I just
1984.
I just kind of want to give Mac a second, if you wouldn't mind, to talk about his background a little bit here, because how long you been in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Only been in Pittsburgh for a little over a year, like a year and like 2 months.
Yeah.
That's it.
For the work that you've done, it's pretty good.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I've been hustling, trying to grind. It's just hard out here. It's hard to do anything like this, especially art-wise in the world we are in today.
Being so new.
Yeah, being so new. I think just in general though, like it's just hard to create art in the times that we live in, because everything just is stomping you down, pushing you down, and just making you eat the mud. So, but kind of just where I come from, man. It's just I come from oilfield trash, baby. Like I'm trailer park bred. I lived in the trailer park, man. We got all the trailer parks are connected by a chain link fence, in the back, and so like we got the dumpster back there, and like everybody used to go out there and just talk and everything, bro. And so I come from just a different world. Where I grew up, it's just oilfield. Oilfield runs it. It's a boom town, man. And so like when my papa, he's Native American, he's Seminole, and so he came over when he was 18. He said, you know what, screw this. Like, I hate Florida, and he went all the way over to Odessa, Texas, to make money, because that's the only way you could. Because back then, like, you couldn't make money especially as a Seminole man. So he went there. He stayed in oilfield for 45 years. That's how I was there in Odessa. So I grew up in this boom town where everything revolved around oil. Everything revolved around the money, and it was definitely a different perspective, because it was a harsh living, I think for something that's really interesting, in like 2008 when the recession happened, what ended up happening was that the price of oil boomed up, so it got up to about $150 a barrel. And so with that, that's like out of the norm, right? And so it usually sits at like 80, 90, maybe 70 if times are going tough, 40 if it's terrible, right? But 150, that's a lot, most in history ever. And so my stepdad, he did something called casing, which is essentially where you put the pipes in the ground to get the oil, right? It's one of the hardest things you can do in the oil field. And when I was 18, I did it for 7 months. But that's another story for another time. But he was on the call, and he's on 24-hour call. He would go there, come back, sleep for 2 hours, get called again, and he would repeat this cycle. And so got to the point where, my mom had so many checks she didn't even know what to do with, and you can't even go to the bank and cash it, right? Because everyone there is just in the oil field and trying to cash these checks. So I definitely think that brought me into like a different mind state as a kid, because I didn't have money or nothing, but, I'm watching all these movies, like I love Good Will Hunting, right? I love the movie Good Will Hunting.
Great movie.
With Matt Damon, but like that ain't me. That ain't me. That was never my life. Like I could never even imagine Harvard, like even being by CMU like today. That's insane to me. Like that is nuts, right? Because like I've heard all this stuff in the movies and everything, and it's just like, wow, And so
Such a culture shock.
yeah, it definitely was a little bit of a culture shock because, how everything is so close and here, not in Texas at all. Texas is just one big parking lot. That's it.
One big Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, basically. Everything.
That's a funny way to put it.
Man, everything's like 30 minutes away. Everything.
Yeah, and buses don't.
Yeah.
Buses don't. Just yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's no buses, nothing, no public transportation, any of that. You can't even imagine that in Texas. But my whole life I just I wanted to make a way out. I wanted to set a stone, just a way to get out. And at an early age, I had a lot of anger and resentment because my dad had left. Right, so my dad was in and out of my life because of drugs and addiction. So my whole life I was seeing my dad come in, come out, come in, come out. Come in, come out, right? And this built up a lot of anger in my life. And, so at the age of 8 years old, to combat this, my mom, she decided that she was going to put me in football. So, man, from the age of 8 all the way to 18, I played football in order for, and it did its toll on me. I've had several concussions in my whole life, and that was the way out. Like, and so all the way to senior year, I was like, football is going to be the way. Football is going to be the way. Football is going to be the way. Because that was the only thing I had. But all of a sudden, theater happened. And I kind of fell in love with just storytelling. I come from a background where my family is just all storytelling. They tell me a story about in Florida. My great-great-grandmother still tell me a story about the Seminoles. Like, and so all of that my whole life. And so, it kind of just happened where it's like, I'm going to be a storyteller, But I always felt like, man, I'm tired of all these rich people's stories happening, right? And not the truth. And so with 1984, this is the truth. This is what's going on, baby. This is happening right now today. It's not no matter of, oh, it was in 1984. No, it is today. And so that is kind of just where I come from and just how I think. I'm just very inspired and want to be in your face. I want to tell you, I want to put up the finger to you, and be like, look at this.
You want to tell the uncomfortable.
Yeah, man.
So I have a few questions for you. The first question that I have with regarding the idea of I've recently realizing it too is in our lives, and I think even some of the audience can understand of we have one or maybe more than one person in our life that's a revolving door to where they're going in and out and in and out, and sometimes you can't let that revolving door happen. So with the fact that you dealt with your father going in and out of your life and having that resentment, how did you overcome that, and how did you deal with that?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. So it kind of the biggest thing, my father, he was an addict, right? And so he was not necessarily an addict because he loved the drug. He was an addict because he didn't know what else to do, right? Because being in small town East Texas, which is where he's from, his mom at the age of 9 dropped him off on the side of the road and said, you know what, you got to figure it out, Dad was in and out, of his life. And so, he didn't have anything really to go to. That was the only thing he could go to. It came to a point where I had to understand why exactly he was doing it, right? That was my, that was the time that I kind of just, let me see it through your eyes. Why do you do meth? Why do you do this? Right? And so as I slowly began to understand that, and, it happened so many times, he would come in, be good for 6 months, go out, go to a rehab, come back, go back, to drugs. And the cycle would just repeat, And so it got to a point where it was like, I had no hope all this time. Then it finally came about 19. And for some reason, I just had hope. Like for some weird reason. And my little brother, it was so funny because my little brother had hope his whole life. Oh, every time Dad would come back, he was like, this is it. This is it. This is it. And I'd be like, nah, this ain't it. And my little brother would be, no, this is it. And so then when I was 19, I finally started having hope. My little brother was like, nah, this ain't it. I'm like, dude, this is it.
This was after how many times?
This, man, probably, I mean, I only really met my father probably when I was like 11 or 12. And so this probably happened 5 or 6 or 7 times throughout my life.
By then.
By this point, and so I finally started having hope. And so I remember, my dad, he was driving a stolen red Chevy truck, man, that, it like, yeah.
Was it a nice one?
Yeah, it was a nice truck. It was a nice truck. It had the diesel pump. Yeah. But he was driving. I remember this conversation. I was sitting in the passenger seat, and he says, Matthew, which only really my family calls me Matthew, but he said, Matthew, when I was 19, I think I needed a father the most. Like, this is the point in my life when I needed a father the most, and I want to do that for you. And I believe him. I don't know why. I just believed him. And so then, just through that, he just started doing better. He started doing better, and we started congratulating him, And so now, from being an addict, my dad is now a pastor. He's a head pastor of a church, and he has a multi-million-dollar business. So, I've seen how it is to go from nothing to something, and that's why I continue to have hope and think that there can be change in this world, because I've literally seen it happen from nothing, from the soil.
Yeah, that's very inspiring. And go ahead, Mark.
Wow. That's really wild. You still talk to your dad and everything?
Yeah, man, we talked to him. I was talking to him yesterday about coming back to Texas. So,
well, yeah. You want to,
Wow.
Give him a shout out.
Love you, Dad.
Damn right.
Love you, Dad, too.
Yeah, love you, Dad, too. Even though we
We're dads.
don't know you, but we want to know you. And it just leads me into another question is like, so you are the product of someone that was an addict and now no longer is. What are some things that people in the lives of other people that may have parents or loved ones or friends that are addicts, what can they do to support these people that they want in their life that may be difficult to keep in their lives?
Man, that's a hard one. That is a hard one, because that one's like really basis to basis, but I even when you don't believe them, try, because I've had plenty of times where I have friends who are addicts, and, they come to me like, Mac, I want to get better and stuff like that. I don't believe you, but guess what? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try still. Right. And I think that aspect of trying it, eventually it will get to them. Right. You got to plant the seed first before it'll grow. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's huge because I mean, I'll at least say that I have parents and loved ones that can be like that, and I think it's at what point do you separate yourself from them,
Yeah.
and at what point do you keep them in your life? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I mean, there definitely is times where you have to decide to make the decision, like, do I really want this in my life right now? And that is a hard decision, But hey, but blood runs deep, family runs strong, At the end of the day, you only got one dad. At the end of the day, you only got one mom. At the end of the day, you only got one sister, one brother. That still is your family at the end of the day, I don't necessarily believe in like the aspect of like you fully cut them off, but like, hey, you know what? It's okay to set a boundary and be like, hey, when you get better, come back,
And sometimes you can't control whether they get better or not.
No, sometimes you can't, man. Especially with those demons, like they're straight demons, man. Like you can't do anything about it. That's such a stronghold on someone's life. Like it's almost like a rainy cloud that just sits above them. So, and one day that rainy cloud will get free. I've seen people at the end of their lives, where it took them 50 years to get free of meth. My Uncle David was one of them. He didn't get like rid of drugs, especially meth. He was an oilfield man, until he got diagnosed with cancer, and so then he finally got clean. Then he got clean, and then he got right, So sometimes it takes something like that, and really it does take a huge humbling like that. A lot of times it takes a man to lose everything in order to see what actually he could have.
That's huge. That's a hell of a quote right there on its own. And I mean, the weight is worth more in actions than words.
100%. Yeah, man. You can say it all day long, but if you don't believe it in your soul, then what is it?
Nothing.
Mark? Yeah, no, I'm listening. I've just been listening. I'm listening to a pastor right now.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, try to follow that up.
Right? No, I'm not following up. I'm just.
Yeah, what's your view on all of that? And, like, I'm sure that you've dealt with friends and loved ones that may be addicts or.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I have family members, or I know that have issues, whether it's one thing or another for addictions. I think we all have our own addictions,
Oh,
right?
yeah, definitely.
But I guess it's how much you let that addiction take hold of you, and that boundary that you set with it or not set with it, and how much it encroaches on you until it envelops you, maybe. But I think you have to have a good support system, and if you don't, it could take over you. It could go to a point where it's bad. But to your point though, maybe you do got to kind of lose it all to realize what you can become.
Exactly.
And
What you have.
What you have, the people that you have, the friends or family, the people that love you.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. I mean, I think this is also like kind of how our team at 1984 has been working too. Like we've been working as a family. We've been working as a very collaborative family when it comes to, Mac's style of directing is very like, let's do this, but also I'm malleable. Like if you have an idea and it's better, then the best ideas win.
Mm-hmm.
Like the best ideas will win. So that kind of relationship that Mac has with the actors and just our whole kind of team, I think is very special, and I think that's something that we don't really, you don't really see everywhere. I've been involved in a lot of productions, mostly as an actor, but
Because he's very talented.
no, just because I've just been here. I've just been. I did productions like 2 or 3 a year from high school up until through college, really. And that grind, I see younger actors. They're in this grind of like, oh, I'm in this show. Oh, what's my next show? What's my next show? What's my next show? It's like, take a breath.
Yeah.
Take a breath.
Yeah. Please.
Where do you want to go? If you want to just keep doing them and they're fun, great. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. I just want to make something that means more. And I know Mac does too. Like, we want to make something that actually can make a difference in people's lives, can make a change. I'm all about the next comedy. I love comedies. I love having a good laugh, man. I do.
The good tragedy that's disguised as a comedy is awesome.
Absolutely. And
just like the show that was at Urinetown.
Yeah. Did you see it? I actually was in Urinetown myself in a community theater production. Obviously not a Point Park. I know just Point Park just did it. But did you see it?
I've never gone to any of the shows, and I don't know why I haven't, because I've just been so busy. And
you had to.
Hate theater.
Oh no! I don't hate theater. No! I was an actor for a while. That's why.
1984.
Oh, there we go. There we go. God, there we go.
But no, I was in theater for a while. So like I did, I think like 7 or 8 different like hobbies, I'd call them, in high school. So one of them I picked up is, I don't know. I was like, I want to do theater, but I don't know how to get into it. And I remember the first thing I did with theater was I was a zombie that always got interrupted. To where it was like, you're not, and then they were interpreting it as if, I'm just being interrupted by this one lady that I was on a date with in the small little one act thing. And it was so much fun. And I was just like, I don't know. Now I understand a lot of like doing that. And I have an appreciation for how much of a character these people become. And, the actors.
Yeah. Theater's a bug. Theater's a bug. And if you get the bug, you get the bug. And I think I see theater and acting in a completely different way than I did even a year ago when I last spoke to you. I kind of see the world of acting and actors and models or whatever have you, whatever you're doing, as you can't just wait around for it. Like I work at an agency called the Talent Group. We're the top talent and modeling agency in Ohio and Pennsylvania. We do more jobs than anyone else. But even with that, and we got a big roster of talent. And you can't just be waiting for the next opportunity to come, whether you're with an agency, whether, you're just waiting around for the next theater show to come in, but you have to go out and get your own opportunities, make your own opportunities.
Like Colonel Sanders.
like Colonel Sanders.
Do you know the story of Colonel Sanders?
About how he, I believe. Do you wanna share?
Yeah, so like Colonel Sanders, the way that I don't know if I've touched on it on the podcast. I've told a lot of people about it because it's so interesting. So Colonel Sanders started his Kentucky Fried Chicken business and his recipe by going on door to door and door to door salesman and saying, "You should buy my fried chicken."
Love it.
And the only reason he had that is because there was no highway. It was just a small little community. You couldn't really get any places, and word of mouth was really hard to do because radio and the likelihood of you being able to get there. I mean, it was just a privilege if you even had the chance. So you had to be a door to door salesman. And how are you gonna sell fried chicken because you're not a multi-million-dollar company yet?
Yeah.
Door to door.
Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta meet people where they're at. I think that's the best thing that Marc is good at. We'll go anywhere. It can be a coffee shop, man. It can be, outside on the street. And guess what? He's shaking someone's hand and like, hey, man, you really need to watch this show, 1984, because really, this is what's going on today.
1984.
There we go. And
I cannot believe.
I swear, I've been reading some history. I've been just looking at a lot of things. 1986 is just very ingrained in my head for some apparent reason. There's probably a reason.
Yeah, yeah, man, we're just trying to shake Pittsburgh, bro. I think that's the biggest thing. We're just trying to shake Pittsburgh, which is a very big ambition for somebody who's only been here for like a year, right? But, I totally agree with Marc, and even Colonel Sanders, where it's just like, bro, you have to make it where you can. Like, you can't just wait around and just sit and be like, oh, my chicken's going to sell someday. Oh, I'm going to become an actor someday, right? You can't wait around. You have to make your own things, man. That's kind of just the background that I come from, too. It's just like before I came up here, literally the day before I moved to Pittsburgh, I was doing a show. I did this show just briefly. I did a show called it was a part with this team called the Corpus Christi Projects, and we basically assembled the Avengers of Corpus Christi. I was in Corpus Christi, Texas for about 3 years, home of Selena. God bless Selena. But with that, basically this guy that I ran into, he was like, hey, I'll give you $1,000 if you make something about Corpus Christi. And so I was like, how do I even do something like that? So just basically went around. I was going basically door to door salesman, like, what do you think about Corpus Christi? I was going to bars. I was going to
like interviews.
Yeah, interviews. I was just interviewing random people. Man, I went to a bar one time. This guy told me about how in the 1980s, how like all the gangs worked, and he was telling me about how he would beat he beat these dudes with a baseball bat, and like he almost went to prison and had to go to the military. It was a crazy story. I was like, wow. I had the whole thing on recording. Not gonna release it for that guy, but so I was getting all these insights, and then one day, my homie Juan, and he came in, and he wasn't a part of the project at the time, but he told us a story about Hillcrest, and Hillcrest was just a community who was mostly African American and Hispanic, and they lived in Corpus Christi for like 100 years, right? And basically, the city council went to them and said, "Hey guys, I know you guys live here, and you guys love this community, but you got to go. We're gonna relocate you." Because we're going to build a new bridge that's going to go through your neighborhood. And turns out that bridge is like 3 to 4 miles away. It's not even over that neighborhood. They just wanted them out. And so, we went in, we found this kid. His name was Aquan. And Aquan had lived there when all of this happened. He was 8 years old. And so he brought us to the location where it was nothing. It was nothing now, but he was like, yeah, this is my apartment building. He's literally pointing at nothing. He's like, this is my apartment building. This is where my window was. This is where my TV was. This is where kids would come in and they would knock on the window and I would have to tell them that, no, I'm in trouble. I can't come outside and play. And he was just showing us all this, his home. And it was just on concrete. It was on a concrete slab that used to be. And so
nothing was there.
Nothing was there at all. And he's telling me this crazy story. And I just feel like this urge to like, man, I got to do something about this, right? I got to do something about this.
Got to tell someone.
I got to tell somebody, right? And, with that, we created the show. We devised this show just together about Corpus Christi. And we went, we went to the books. I had this awesome playwright, and he was a reader. And so he read and he wrote this awesome play in this documentary style. And he compared the Spaniards coming over and killing the Caracawa tribe to what was happening today with the Hillcrest people that lived there, because it's just a different form of gentrification, and so we told the story. We got to tell it at the Art Museum of South Texas, and then downtown Corpus Christi, and then at a community center, the Garcia Center over by Hillcrest. And so we got to do this, and then the next day, man, I moved up here, and I still had this ambition and this passion to tell an effective story that can affect people and just feel real to somebody. And I think especially what we're doing in this country right now, whether you believe left or right, it doesn't matter. Something's up. Something's not good. I don't think it even matters about who you vote for. You just know something isn't going right.
That uneasiness,
Right.
that uneasy feeling.
Right.
That distrust.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
distrust, that mass surveillance, that everybody is watching you, that there is a big brother somewhere.
The hesitancy.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
And so that's what 1984 is. We're going to those times if we're not there. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're just doing 1984, because, man, it's so present. I had so many people just tell me, like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe y'all are doing that now. That's perfect. Yeah, it is. Because we're living in it, baby.
Yeah. And our concept is it's completely different. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, our concept is very different. Of course, it was wrote by George Orwell, who was from London. He had seen a lot of massacres in his day, especially with genocides and everything. But kind of just before he died, he wrote 1984, and it was based in London, but not London that we know of today. It was Big Ben. It was in Oceania, right? But the biggest thing is that we're Americanizing 1984. I think a lot of times when people do this show, they tend to suggest America. They're suggesting, hey, this might be America. This might be the world we live in. I'm tired of suggesting, bro. I'm tired of suggesting and saying, we're the city of bridges. Let's bridge that gap, and let's come together and say, you know what? This is America. We are red, white, and blue. Uncle Sam is always watching. Uncle Sam's watching you on your phone, And so that is our concept, and that's what we're running with.
Mm. Yeah, and in terms of like our costumes, the dialect that that we're using, we're just speaking how we speak. We're not doing a British dialect.
No.
We're not doing a British accent.
Not the uppity.
We are speaking how we are. We are looking like we look, and we're trying to tell a story that speaks to the people here, the community in Pittsburgh, the people not only in the arts, but we're reaching out to people that might not even see the arts before, people that are involved in sports, people are involved in other activities, but they're like, hey, you know what? This can speak to anyone at almost any age. You can even start at high school. 1984 and George Orwell is regularly taught in literature classes in schools.
But it is getting banned in some states.
It definitely is.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, if you can't look at the past, and George Orwell did a very good job at saying that, who controls the past and who controls the future?
Absolutely. And who is banning it?
Those that don't want you to look at it.
Why do you think they don't want you to look at it?
Because they're repeating it. History is wise, and it tells us to follow, or actually, it shows us and tells us by quite literal evidence not to repeat. But what do? Repeat.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of chess. When you play chess, yeah.
Grandmaster here.
Yeah, no, not a grandmaster, but I will do a quick shout out to the Cheers and Chess Club at Aslan Beer Company in the Strip District.
Meaning to go.
It is every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. The guy who runs it, his name is Josh. He's an incredible force of nature.
Grandmaster?
Probably. In my eyes, no, he's like me. He's like Mac. People that bring people together. To do some awesome things, and their whole thing is to drink beer and play chess, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome. And when I'm playing chess, you were just mentioning, not repeating the past, not repeating mistakes, right? Especially things that we think, and the reason they're probably banning them, we know, they don't want to remember. They don't want you to see
because
that.
it's uncomfortable.
Not only that, but if you control what the youth is reading, listening, learning about, you can control what a whole generation understands about life. So that's I do love reading. I wish I would read more. Because I think whether it's reading audiobooks, listening to podcasts like this one, you can learn a lot about yourself, about society, about history.
Yeah.
And I think you need that. And I feel like I didn't learn that until later on in high school. I don't know. I just, I was being me. We're kids, running around. But ever since, last couple of years, ever since, middle of college, my thoughts, my ideas, they've changed. So where I want to keep learning, I want to keep developing my taste, my judgment, my character, my own values. So when you play chess and you make a mistake, you want to learn from that mistake. And it's trying to remember that mistake. And I've made countless mistakes over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's like, how many times are you going to make this mistake until you remember?
Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned that, and we're talking about the idea of George Orwell could have been really good friends with Noam Chomsky, if you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is he wrote a book very similarly. I don't know if they knew each other, but it seemed like they almost had the same thought process because he wrote Manufacturing Consent.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you guys have read it. I encourage anyone out there to read it. It is a little bit of an uncomfortable read, but it will certainly tell you about, the idea of Big Brother, about that if you don't have a seat at the table, then you're not going to be ordering the food. And by that metaphor is meaning that the people at the top are controlling what you're seeing. And not always is it in the best interest of the people. It's the best interest of the money.
And this isn't new, though.
It's not new.
This has been established, trickle-down economics or what have you, when, if tax breaks are given to the big corporations and, the multimillionaires, that will trickle down to the rest of society. And, me personally, I don't know if that actually works, but I think in general, like what Mac was saying, something is not working, right? Something is not working for ordinary people, and I think that's evident. With people in skyrocketing prices, whether cost of living, the cost of groceries, right? How much we're making right now. I think Pittsburgh is a phenomenal city. For compared to the rest of the country, for what they're doing in the community, whether it's the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership keeping the cities and the streets clean, or there's the Pittsburgh Police doing the best they can. I know a lot of people in the police force here, and they do the best they can, and whether it's even Point Park, I know President Brusalis quite well. I worked with him a lot last year, and he believes in a better downtown.
I think we all collectively do.
100%. But in terms of bringing people together and stuff, there's a lot of key players here, whether it's the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust, Downtown Partnership, Downtown Neighbors Alliance with John Valentine. I don't know if you know him. He brings kind of the neighborhoods together and the people who live in these buildings over here, whether that's North Side, South Side, Oakland, North Oakland, Shady Side, right?
Can't forget Bellevue.
Cannot forget Bellevue. I think this is a beautiful city, and it does a lot for its community. And even still, it's difficult to get by. It is difficult to make a living
in this economy.
Exactly.
I'm surprised. I mean, we talk about the economy and how rough it is for people out here, but everyone out here is talking about money, and I'm just like, common sense. Where's that?
Yeah.
But maybe that's like what they want, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who they is, but I'm not gonna say. But Big Brother. But maybe they don't want people to have common sense, right? They don't want people to think for themselves. I mean, in 1984, the biggest thing is that thinking is illegal. You can't even think for yourself without being arrested and actively, like, you're gonna be tortured if you even think for yourself, and you're gonna be put through this big psyop if you think for yourself, right? And like, if I'm the leader and I want to be a dictator and I want to control the people, why would I want people to think for themselves?
Or talk to each other.
2 plus 2 equals 5.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what happened to saying hi on the street?
Well, no, that's that's interesting that you say that, because in Russia and in Germany, the way that they interact with each other socially, especially Germany versus Russia, because Russia during the Iron Curtain, you couldn't, like, if you were American and you came to near Russia during the Iron Curtain, it wasn't like America where you say, "Oh, how are you doing?" It was, "Hi, moving on."
Right.
It was very just not even stoic, just like numb to interaction because you had to be, because I mean, even in with that Germany, I just recently met a paratrooper that was out in Germany and talked to a German soldier out there and said, "Well, what's the deal with, with Nazism and all that stuff? How did you guys not know?" And what's funny is, well, it's not funny, but it's practical within the lines of George Orwell and even Chomsky. And what the soldier told my friend that I made is that they thought the radio was where they got all their information from. But you can't verify the radio.
Sure, yeah.
So whatever is being told to you on the radio, it's kind of just what everyone else around you thinks. So the thing is when people were reporting on the radio that Hitler was doing what he was doing and Jews were being killed, they thought it was American propaganda, not actually happening. Because everyone around them, no, that's not happening. You're fine, and you're privileged. Don't worry about it. So they just ignored it because they were told it was propaganda, and no one's gonna actually do their due diligence. It really takes a lot to do your due diligence, even then. So they were just convinced because they controlled the media. They controlled the narrative.
Yeah, I mean, Orwell, he wrote this like after World War II as well, so we had seen stuff like this happen. I mean, controlling the media, I mean, hey man, that's nothing new. You know what I mean? People control the media for decades, and it's more so, I think, recently that people have the understanding to even conceive that and think about that, whether, who is this actually funded by, right? Who is pressing the news? Who is the leaders of this, right? Those are things that should be thought about, because like, hey man, where the money is, that's where the values are. A lot of times, I mean, money is the root of all evil, man. So, I mean, it just makes sense. I think something that's really interesting is that we're using a lot of media within this show as well to portray that exact thing. We're using old CRTs. Yeah, so we have nine different CRTs.
I am so excited to photograph this event. I love a good CRT, and my favorite thing about a CRT is it's limited to the amount of hertz that it's outputting. So when you photograph it, it's choppy.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, you like that?
I do.
Interesting. Okay.
Because same thing with lighting, because I do a lot of concert work.
Sure.
So when you're working with lighting, instead of fighting it and being like, I need to make this work, you work around it. Okay. And it's really interesting because, like, I think it's so I can't say the word equibus. Basically, essentially, what I'm trying to say is it's so defining of
ubiquitous.
Thank you.
Found it.
There you go.
I can't say it for some reason. I also can't say.
That's okay. You're good.
We've been sitting here for almost an hour. That's crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, it doesn't feel like it.
Passed by.
Time has gone by. I had to take a look at the
good conversation.
Yeah, good conversation indeed. But with the CRT televisions and stuff, they're choppy, and I like that because everything feels right now when you photograph a screen or anything, the hertz are so high, the refresh rate. So like, whenever you have your phone and you can actually go on your iPhone, download an app that can change the shutter speed, change your shutter speed to something that isn't 1/60th or equivalent to that, and you will start to see the hum of certain lights, fluorescent lights in like a office environment, because they are on a refresh rate. They're not actually consistent. It is on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. That is how they run. Same thing with the television. It's a signal. It's a hertz signal. So televisions now, you're getting at least 100 hertz refresh rate, or that way you're being able to see everything. And the thing is I think it's so interesting that you chose that without, I don't know how much you realize that, but the olden aspect of that choppiness of the TV is in the same right of the choppiness of how we interact with the media.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's, we don't see everything.
Right.
We don't know everything. And I think that so much, even me, sometimes I want to control that, and sometimes we can't. We have to just deal with what we don't know and to try to fill in those choppiness. How do we fill in those gaps?
Yeah, I really think, to your perspective right there, I'm very excited to see what audiences are going to think about, this show. We put so much of our literally blood, sweat, and tears into this production.
Sure, hope
over a
everyone's okay that's
long,
bled.
over a long period of time. Our rehearsal process is extremely different than any other show ever. And it's not by all means the best, but it's what we can do with our limitations, right? The Pittsburgh Cultural Trust has been super gracious to us and allowing us to use their facilities to do our rehearsals, to also put on our show at 937 Liberty. It's called 3 Stories now. It's a brand new theater building that is used for individual artists or nonprofit organizations to put on shows for free. And our rehearsal process is done in another one of their facilities, a black box, a 200-seat, fully transformable black box theater, and we use that space once a week to rehearse, to practice, to train, to learn together. And I only got the space for once a week, so we've been working every Sunday for 4 months, 5 months, and this is usually when people do a show, it's like 1 month, 2 months max, right? It's rehearsal every night in the evenings. They have a space, so we are using their spaces and people's time in a different way, and they've given us grace and empathy for that, and we felt the same back. And now when we start tech coming up, tech's going to start on the 24th of November. We are going to start meeting every day. So now it's going to be like a CLO type thing. Whenever anyone for CLO, for those summer series shows that they do, it's usually like a 2-week process max, and they get the script sometimes in advance. I think they definitely do. But when they get together, boom, 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 they got to roll, they got to run, because they got to put these shows on, whether that's Frozen, right? No, really though, they have 2 weeks to do this. These are professionals that are going on there that are getting cast for these things.
I knew I know that name from somewhere. I've talked with them a few times at career fairs, so I'm like, wait, Clo.
No, wait, what?
CLO.
Oh, CLO. Yeah,
no. I've met them a few times. I was like, where do they sound familiar? But professionals, 2 weeks. I remember spending a whole half of the year on one, small little thing that you get for what was it? It was like February all the way to the end of the year for high school. That was for this small little insy beatsy little piece. So I can imagine like 2 weeks, but that was like what, every day for that long?
Every Sunday we have been rehearsing, and for better or for worse, we're there. We check in with each other, and Sundays people are usually tired, after the end of a week, but they still come every single week. They still put their time in. And our rehearsals aren't short. They're 3 hours. They become 4 hours now because we need some additional time to do what we got to do.
And they're more than willing to put that in?
Oh, they have been. They have, because they believe in the show. They believe in this group, and I think the company that we put together, we support each other, and even though that might be a given sometimes, that can never be taken for granted.
No.
And I'm someone that likes to make that clear, We're leaders in that room, and we set the tone for how people respond, how people interact with each other, right? And in doing so, we want to give back to the group, to give them power, so they know that yes, they can do whatever they want to do. You can make a show. You can put on a show right now if you want to put on a show. You can. You don't need any fancy cameras. You don't need a lot of people. You just need yourself, your heart, your soul.
As long as it's genuine.
As long as it's genuine to you, everyone will think and see things differently. You just gave your perspective earlier on what the show might be with the CRTs. That's great. I am so excited to see what people are going to think of this show, and their perspectives and their spinoffs and this and that and this. And it's like, oh yeah, we thought about all that for sure. but really, that's what invigorates me, and I'm excited to see the good and the bad and the ugly and just everything, because if everything's good, then that's not the full story. That's not the full case. I want to hear everyone's perspectives, and there's always room to grow and learn.
100%.
And
that's why this guy is so good at what he does.
I mean,
He listens.
it's not just me. Mac is also like that. I know you're also like that. I know there's a lot of people out here that are like that or want to be like that.
Or the audience too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I feel like everybody has a sense for hungerness, the
Mhm.
sense to like do something, and I think that's one thing that we really got. We got a band of misfits, bro. Like we got a lot of professionals, yes, right, and we're very fortunate for every single person that we have. Like they're doing such an amazing job, but we're all so hungry and so hungry and just want to do something that is meaningful and impactful. We're tired of the stale theater that we're gonna do a musical just to do a musical. No, man, we're trying to do something to make a change.
Intentional.
Yeah, we're trying to be intentional and shake something. We're trying to shake your soul just a little bit, or even make you think, or even just make you walk out of the theater.
Yeah.
Any of those are fine. Any of those are fine as long as we do something to you.
Yeah. And I think this is also an important point to make. Personally, I'm content more or less with my life, and I'm very happy with my friends and family and the people that I interact with on a daily basis. I think you can have contentness with ambition.
Joy. That's
And
what that's called.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that could be construed or, I'm very happy living in Pittsburgh and having my family and friends and my jobs, right? And I really do. I do enjoy it. And, but I feel like oftentimes people are like, oh, that doesn't coincide with ambition. No, I think it does. I think you can still have a fire in you and still want to do a bunch of things, but also be content with your soul and your values and what you believe in. And I wanted to make that point because I feel like sometimes people don't maybe see it that way, or like, oh, they're they're crazy, or they're just not content with their life, or they're whatever. People will think whatever they want to think, but I know I'm happy in my life, and I surround myself with people that are good people, right? And that is the biggest thing to me. For my acting class, I let anybody come into that space, regardless of their experience level, as long as they're a good person, and as long as they bring good energy and they are open to discussion, they are open to debate. Unfortunately, when our politics, it doesn't even feel like that is even that simple fact is not even happening. Democrats and Republicans don't even talk to each other. Like, they don't want to talk. They don't want to discuss anything. Like, how is this good at all? It's not.
I think that's a rhetorical question, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
good.
well, as I answered it. So, so it's really not. And again, like, a show like this matters more than ever. It matters more than ever right now to wake people up.
And also,
yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. And also, an interesting thing about this, especially about 1984, is that Democrats have a perspective of 1984, so do Republicans. I've talked to Democrats and Republicans about 1984. They both love it, right?
In their own way.
In their own way, right? And so they're going to gain they're going to gain an interpretation, right, of something like this, especially when they come see it. Because, bro, we're doing red, white, and blue. We're doing it about the country we live in. Hopefully we don't get arrested and put into a psyop after this. But
don't worry, I've been a part of one psyop.
Oh, man.
I know you love America, and I love America, and that's why we're doing this. Because we love this country.
And you want to make a point.
And it could be better than it is.
100%.
It could be so much better than it is.
I did want to sidestep a little bit because this is a wonderful conversation.
No,
but you were talking about how surrounding yourself with good people, and in terms of
that's
even
extremely important.
In terms of America, we have to surround ourselves with good people for us. And I'll even admit that just this morning with my girlfriend, I had to come to terms with the fact that I struggle surrounding myself with the right people. Because I'll be honest with both of you, I was in the hospital middle of October because I wasn't surrounding myself with the right people, and it started affecting me so bad to where I was hospitalized. And thankfully, I'm still here. But it got to be so bad that I had to.
I'm happy you're still here.
I'm happy I'm still here too. And it got to a point where sometimes you have to feel like you're going to lose everything. And to realize and to wake up. And, in terms, rather it be America or just one measly person on their way to work listening to this podcast, it doesn't hurt to acknowledge your mental health because that's one of the things that I've acknowledged more than ever, because don't burn yourself out, but take care of you. Because just because we're professionals, and everyone in this room here, and everyone that does anything may be a professional, but it doesn't mean that they know everything.
Yeah, and not only is it not doesn't hurt, it's bold of you to seek help. It's difficult to seek help, to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, maybe I could use some help. It is so difficult to realize your own addictions, your own flaws and things you might need to fix in yourself, because it's deep, it's rooted in you, or if it's not rooted in you things have happened so many times in a row where you don't want to touch it, you don't want to feel it, because then it opens up something that you might not be ready for, and you know what, you're never ready for it.
Yeah,
You're never ready for
the vulnerability is
but
so much.
yeah, if anyone, like, and I've been to therapy, and it's been fantastic. My parents, they're always like, I love my parents, they're great people, but they're like, you don't need, what do you mean therapy what? I have an Italian family. I went to Italy for a whole month in August, and I met a family out there. That's a whole other conversation, but they're like, oh, we're fine. What do you mean? You're fine.
Therapy
pick
is
yourself up
the
by your
baddest
bootstraps,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
What is it? You only go to therapy if you're troubled.
Yes, but I wanted to better myself, and I still do. And that's what therapy can do for you.
Whether you're troubled or not.
Exactly. Or whatever. I don't even know. I don't want to call it troubled. It's like,
well, yeah, I mean,
we're all at our own points in our own lives and dealing with certain things, right? And having somebody to talk to outside your family is something special. Someone that you don't even know, because it's like, you can share stuff with them that's a little bit different, because if you can share with your family, that's fine. Of course, I think we all talk to our family in our own ways, but
sometimes you need an outside perspective.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely so.
Or someone to make things make sense.
Yeah. Firstly, I just want to say thank you for sharing that vulnerability, especially on your own show.
This is the first time I've said anything about it outside of clients.
Yeah.
I'll talk on that, but go right ahead.
No, yeah, I just want to say, man, that like that's a lot of weight, and I think the biggest thing, especially in moments like this, for you to even realize to do something like that, is a big step to actively, like, bro, I don't know you that well, to be honest, right? To actively tell me that and to tell Marc that is huge, right? Because, you're not hiding who you are, right? I feel like a lot of times today people hide behind this mask and they're like, hey, I'm perfect all the time. No, you are not at all, right? But, it is in moments like that when we lose everything and we're at our lowest that are the most valuable. And we look back on and we remember, and then months later we're where we are, and we're like, wow, I was there, right? And I'm sure even now, just in this moment, you're like, wow, a month ago I was there, now I'm here, right? Now I'm getting better, now I'm actively getting myself to a point where I want to be, right? And that growing, is awesome, bro. And I just want to commend you on that and just say, like, thank you for that vulnerability.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of teary-eyed because it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It and like for even the audience and even probably my grandfather listening, it isn't easy to ask for help, but it also is a whole lot scarier, because I'd say that I had the most trouble because I was just, don't put me in a straitjacket. Don't put me in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
I'm not, don't dehumanize me, because I've been dehumanized before. And I'm sure that many of us have.
Yeah.
And it's the worst feeling that you can have,
Right.
when all you're doing is asking for help.
Right.
Like, don't treat me differently just because I am admitting I need help.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that, if you do go and need help and you need to ask for help, go to a library. A library is really good for you. Like, libraries will help. Most people that you can go to in the community can help you.
Right.
And worst case scenario, just go to the ER, because that's what I did.
Right.
I went to the ER. They'll talk to you. They get, literally they will give you most things. I got cake because I was hungry and I woke up and they gave me cake.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, you don't get that often,
Yeah.
even when you're not in the best headspace.
Right.
And I feel like it takes a lot to not only just admit it, but it was scary because time stops when you're in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like when you're in the hospital for a week and you leave after that week, but you don't have that thought. You have the thought of, okay, I'm in here, but you're not antsy to get out, but you're also not antsy to stay in. And so you kind of just have to sit with yourself. You don't get your phone. You have the people around you to talk to and the doctor and your own thoughts.
Mhm.
And it's very humbling,
Yeah.
and you have to learn to just accept
Right.
and work with what you do and how you do. So I think that that's something that I've learned a lot about, to be able to sit with my thoughts and to be okay with that. And also I got addicted to ginger ale. So they give you indefinite
I love
amounts
ginger
of
ale.
ginger ale.
I hate it.
Like, no, the amount of ginger ales that I probably went through is at least 3 packs
Yeah.
in a week.
Right.
So
Yeah. Dude, I definitely, like, sometimes we have to dehumanize ourselves in order to be humanized, right? That's something that I stand by firmly, especially with art even, right? Is that, like, man, if I show you a puppy getting stomped to death, right? You're going to feel some type of way about that puppy. You know, if I show you Caleb at the hospital, I'm going to feel for you, bro. Just how you actively just kind of dehumanize yourself in this whole scenario, right? And guess what? I'm humanizing with you right now because of that, right? And that's like that vulnerability that we need more in the world, bro. We need that because that's what drives us and helps us run, bro. For people to share something like that, you know, and actively communicate about it, right? Because this is getting rare. This is getting rare, and especially our political stance and it's our political spectrum that's going on. Not stance. I don't care about your stance. But yeah, bro, it's just getting rare. We just need more of this, right? We need people to just be open again.
Need more
and
of the
just
truth.
raw.
Well,
Yeah.
talking on that openness is, I think one thing that I was so scared about the most is I actually was worried less about me and more about my clients and and people that my relationships, that not like my close relationships. I was actually more worried about the relationships that were going to, benefit me in monetarily ways,
Right.
Mhm.
and,
Sure.
to make sure that those were kept. So
And it's not a bad thing, but it comes to a point where it's like, what comes first? Like, you got to come first.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
You have
And-
to. And that's something I struggle with too. I get it.
And so I'm sure that everyone, I think even the audience understands, like, where it's like you prioritize everyone but yourself.
Mhm.
And I did that. Don't do that, because there is an order of priorities. And I'd like to say that we live 24 hours in our head, 365 days until we die. Be kind to yourself, because let's be real. You wouldn't kick a kid. Don't answer that. But you wouldn't kick a kid, right? So don't kick yourself, because you're just that little kid that grew up.
That's
And
a great point.
it's unfortunate how evil we are to ourselves, and given the fact that we know all our good and bad things that we've done, so you can't beat yourself up.
Yeah, bro. I get that. I'm a hardest critic, man. I'm my hardest critic, especially about my art, especially just about the things I'm working on, man. I'm busy all the time, right? And if something isn't going my way, especially with my art, man, I'm so hard on myself. But you got to give the grace. You got to give the grace.
And you do so much work. I mean, you're working on not only 1984, but you're working on tons of short films all the time. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just who you are.
Yeah.
Mac is a true artist. And
Oh.
I literally talked to him about this yesterday. And I told him this because an artist, they're not only ambitious, but they're kind of insane. We're a little insane in terms of, like, we can't help ourselves but make things. We can't help ourselves from doing, just creating things. We can't stop ourselves from doing it. We have something. We have a vision. We have a heart. We have a soul, and it's like those stories, those things need to be told somehow, and
Nothing's going to stop us.
Yeah. And Mac figured it out through film and through theater and through the arts, right? And different types of art, yeah, that's why he's a true artist, though. I mean, truly, no. I mean,
Oh, no.
I'm being dead serious. Like, I know a lot of artists, and I don't really know if I've ever met anyone like you.
I appreciate it.
There's a photo that I think I cropped for you.
Oh, yeah.
There's a photo of someone sitting on the ground against a wall.
Mm.
And I always go back to that because I'm just like, okay, the crop did it.
The crop did.
And it's just someone sitting against a wall, kind of just being.
Yeah.
presently,
Yeah.
not to be or is.
Right.
And I always go to that because the colors work wonderfully. You're a absolute madman with color in the best
Thank
way.
you, bro. I appreciate
I mean, Leonardo da Vinci needs to take some pointing.
it. Nah, bro, that's too much.
Leo.
No way.
Shout out Leo.
Not. Well, the actor's pretty good, but I think that the artist was pretty good too.
Yeah.
You know, for the longest time, I thought they were universally the same.
That's so funny.
So I was like, wait, he's back? He's back. But regarding Leonardo, I think the two things that I've learned recently by just listening and reading a lot is actually when I was in the hospital, I was listening to the radio, and it was just BBC and something, and I forget what they were talking about, but they were talking about one thing about an artist, and they also mentioned Leonardo. And the one thing is an artist, the quality of an artist is determined by how they meet their obstacles.
Mm.
And alongside that is when we think about Leonardo, I think he's highly regarded, but we don't understand that he had mental problems too. He dealt with a lot. Isn't he also the one that cut off his ear? Or was that...
I have no idea.
That might be Van Gogh.
Okay, that's Van Gogh. Well, they all have gone through their
Yeah.
very fair share of mental illnesses, but the only reason we know that is because they're so looked at. And the thing is I always look to the Sistine Chapel that he painted, and it didn't just take a day, a week, a month. It took years. And what did he need to get up there? Scaffolding. A shit ton. Not just scaffolding, but good scaffolding.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had to climb that every day, every night, every time he went up there to go and pursue his vision. So I feel like in the same way that we have to surround ourselves with good people, we still have to build a good scaffolding.
Mm.
Because without a
100%.
without a good scaffolding,
100%.
I mean, I don't know if you've been to New York or even Pittsburgh, because there's some scaffolding in Pittsburgh that can be good and not so good. And, you don't want to fall, because if you fall and you don't finish a painting, then...
Scaffolding is your support system.
Precisely.
Scaffolding is the cast and crew that we have
Oh, yeah.
for 1984. I mean, I haven't really talked about the production team much yet. They are they're a beast, let me tell you. I mean, from Costadina and Bunny, who run our costumes, who have helped us with sourcing all of this stuff, who've helped us with contacting the actors and getting everything that we need to get that rolling, get that happening. Robert Wilt and Cody Duke, two people that kind of Mac brought on for lighting and sound. I mean, these are professional people that believe in this vision and are good people to work with, and they know how to collaborate. Whether that's Vizcaya, who has done our incredible set design and put together a beautiful draft of what the set should look like, and I'm thankfully happy to say that the set's actually just almost complete. I have some pictures I could probably share with you for the actual boards that we made. I mean, these are 4x8 walls that are just massive on wheels with brackets, and Lowe's and Home Depot, they actually sponsored us. Wait.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Maybe, shout out to Lowe's.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's
a crazy thing to be able to.
Lowe's,
Yeah.
Home Depot.
Thank you.
And you know what's crazy too? And this goes back to literally let's really talk about this. This goes back to going for things, and not just waiting. I called Lowe's. I called Home Depot. I just made a call. It took me less than 10 minutes. And I
Talk about that.
I told them my vision. I literally said, hey, I'm putting on this show with a couple people. I got you got this and this and this. I could really use your help with this. Are you able to help me in this regard at all?
And
right?
they did.
Some people say yes, some people say no. Some people can offer more or less, and they did say yes. And they gave us the supplies that we needed. And
Wow.
I already had the support team to make that happen. Shout out to my father. Thank you for helping me build that set, and all of his friends that built the set. No, for real. You guys are
I can't wait to see this, because I'm sure that if you clicked on the podcast through LinkedIn, hopefully I'll have the photos to show.
Absolutely. I'll be able to share those with you.
Lovely. The one thing that I hate about LinkedIn is you have to choose between showing the link as the embedded or the photo, never the both. So I'm going to probably have to
Make your own social media site.
Oh, no. You can actually, if you want, I'm going to be updating the podcast widget on the website to show more stuff and actually embed a blog widget to talk more about certain podcasts.
Look at that.
So hopefully by then, which is what, this will be 3 weeks from now. We're recording this in what? Not December yet. November.
Yeah.
So
yes.
it is the start of middle November-ish. So it'll be a few weeks later. But we hope, I'm going to at least have to figure out, because I don't put numbers on the episodes, so we could put this out earlier.
That would be great. No, yeah.
That way people can hear about, going to it. And
Yeah, I would appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the show opens on December 4th.
Because we got that backlog.
Good, that's awesome. The show opens on December 4th. That's our opening night. It's the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. They're all 7:30 shows, 7:30 p.m. And then we have 2 matinee shows, Saturday at 2 p.m., December 6th, and Sunday at 2 p.m., December 7th. And actually, for that Saturday matinee at 2 p.m., it's an understudy run. We have understudies involved in this production, too. I mean, I'm telling you, it's such a massive undertaking. And some of these people have acted for a long time. Some of them, this is their first show. And I want to give them an opportunity, and Mac wants to give them an opportunity to be able to be on stage, to be able to work, to be able to show their craft, to be able to keep growing, keep learning. And I know they very much appreciate that. And, I love giving back, and I love that they're able to do what they love, and it feeds my soul. This kind of stuff feeds my soul. When I'm talking with you two, I'm very much an extrovert. If I didn't know this,
Introvert? Oh,
yeah, but I do like to be alone. I do need to.
You're an omnivert.
People have told me that. Yeah,
it's a new word. It's someone that excels in both social situations, but takes time for themselves and likes that.
Well, I think you just need to. I don't even know if it's not liking it. It's like you need to recharge your batteries. Everyone, I don't know. I think it's human nature to
recharge your spoons
to each other, or at least.
Have you not heard of that?
No.
What is that?
It's the string theory, and this is my spoon theory, and it's
welcome to Spoon Theory Talk with Philip McCartney, Mac,
on
and Marc.
1986.
1984. We will make sure, at least in the LinkedIn post, you will know. But no, the spoon theory. So that
at least nobody's gonna forget. You know what I mean?
That I'm getting it wrong. Yeah.
No, if there's a show in general.
Yes. You will be going to something of the 1980 something. But the spoon theory.
Yeah.
With the spoons, you have only, so whenever you start your day, a good way to do things is as funny as it might be, you start your day with so many spoons. Everything that you do takes a spoon. When you are out of spoons, you can't do anything anymore. But you allot your day to 10 spoons. If I go and fold my laundry, that's 1 spoon. Things that take more energy, like, I'm going to go reach out to clients and do all this 3-hour task, that's 2-3 spoons. 1 hour per spoon. And make... Sorry. And no. This is a very serious theory. Or a practical application.
Wait, did you make this up? Or is this a real thing?
It might be a thing. It might be a theory. It's a little bit of my own.
Make this a YouTube short.
No, I'm serious. 1 hour per spoon, and you don't even have to give yourself 12 hours of spoons. Give yourself 3 spoons to you.
Yeah, spoon yourself. Just, well... That's literally what you've been saying the last 30 seconds. That's all I keep hearing. It's like spoon. Just spoon. Everyone loves a good spoon. Oh God, I didn't mean to say that. It's just
no. I mean, I think yeah.
Out of spoons in the house, man. What you gonna eat? What you gonna eat with a fork?
Yeah, what are you gonna use? A fork? A scaffoon?
No, fork.
I hear you. I do hear you. Sorry.
No, scaffoons are real. Scaffoons? A scaffoon?
Dude, this is what's going on, dude.
No, it's a scaffoon. It's a knife, fork, and spoon, and it's all in one magical utensil.
That sounds like something a hunter would have.
A scaffoon?
Yeah. Okay.
You've heard of a man being good with a spoon, but you've never heard of a man being good with a scaffoon.
Okay, I missed something I wanted to talk about. I wanted to mention one other thing earlier.
This is about spoons.
Yeah, sure. I wanted to mention my stage managers that we have on this project because I forgot to mention them during the production too. I bet they use spoons to eat soup when they have soup. But really though, the stage managers that we have Darby and Spade, and we have I think a couple other people potentially coming on the project. We have an associate producer, Anna Hansen, who actually recently came on, who works for Carnegie Mellon, who's worked at CLO, and they're incredible. I mean, they're the backbone of the theater. Everyone knows that. And not only they're the scaffolding, they're a support system of not only the actors and the rest of the production crew. Mac, myself, they make everything happen. And I kind of just want to say, thank you, Darby, thank you, Spade, thank you, everyone that is involved in this production. Because without you, this would never happen. And I appreciate you letting me come on to thank them, let them know that they're appreciated.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be able to share anything with you, because it's always a pleasure. I mean, I think we work so well, and I think you are such you are an admiration of mine.
Oh God,
I'm serious. Like you're doing so many good things, and our interactions, even in school and outside of school, have always been fueling. Like I'm always hungry, and you're not a buffet.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Get that spoon. Oh my God.
You're like that little tray that offers me little spoons.
When you need them, I'm there.
Yeah, and I mean, rather it be scaffolding, spoons, or
he's a pain in my side.
What is he, a fork?
What am I, a knife?
No, he's a sport.
I mean, you are pretty punctual, so you're pretty good at.
Really a good one. If I had to be something, probably a spork.
Versatile. Versatile. Is it versatile?
Weird enough to be doing all this stuff. You know what I mean?
So yeah.
If you were something, what would you be? Utensil.
If I was a utensil, what would I be? I'd probably go
A spoon.
with. No, not. No, I'm not going to be a spoon. I'm going to be an ice cream scoop. It's a better spoon.
Okay.
Because the only time that you're going to be using a ice cream scoop is with ice cream. Well, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
But it's universal. So if you want a better spoon, get yourself an ice cream scoop.
Okay. I think I'm gonna speak for you. I think you're a spatula.
Shut up.
I think
The metal one. The metal one.
And yeah, I thought rubber at first, but metal makes sense.
Wow.
And you flip things on its head. You do your own thing. You flip it out here. Making burgers. Boom. Order up.
That's crazy.
Homies used by SpongeBob.
What do you think?
No, I wasn't thinking anything, bro.
I just thought of a spatula. It's like you're flipping everything on. You're flipping everything on its head.
I have utensils.
We got a spork, an ice cream scooper, and a spatula.
All in one little fun little disassembled
silly
something.
You need some levity.
You
need some levity when you need some levity when you're talking about all this heavy stuff. Because as much as it's true, if you don't laugh, then what's
comedy is the fuel of coming to terms with reality. I mean, what is it? Shakespeare had a really good fun, to be or not to be, and I think it's sad or mad or frustrated or laugh, to laugh or not to laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think
choose to laugh. I choose to laugh.
Well, not even just choose to laugh. There's a I forget the quote exactly, but it's basically explaining life is all about wading through the filler, getting through the now, and looking forward to the good avenues. And if that's too hard to follow, just smile and laugh, because that's pretty easy.
Hell yeah.
Great. So I was taking that one in.
It's as simple as that is. I mean, just smile and laugh, because, funny enough, smiling takes more muscles.
Man, sometimes I forget to do that.
And I love that smiling's universal.
It
is. To smile at anybody in different languages that you wouldn't even be able to communicate with. When I was in Italy for a month in August. I went to visit my family out there. I have family in Rome. And they came over to America, and my grandmother took care of them, brought them in. My dad took them to D.C., where he used to live in D.C., used to work for USA Today. And
What?
yeah. And he brought them around, and he took time off work, you know. I know, I didn't tell you about that. But he took time off work and took care of them. You know, brought them to a different country. You know, they're in a different country, right? And my grandmother had such a profound impact on them that when we went to go see them in August, we were there for a month. I didn't know this. Italians, or maybe just Europeans in general, at least Italians that I know, they have the month of August off. What? They're on vacation for the whole month of August. Not only that, they have siesta time from like 12 to 4 where they just go to sleep and there's no one out in the streets, and then they come back at 5 and everyone's there, and they have dinner at 9. It's really, really a culture shift.
I need to go.
Well, it was just really nice going somewhere with a different culture, and it was like the 80s from what I know of the 80s over there, and people were outside. People were talking to each other, playing ball. Kids were on the street playing ball, young kids, and I was messing with them, moving the ball a little bit, having a good time, talking to people. I mean, man, it was beautiful. And they invited us in with open arms. I mean,
Hospitality is crazy.
yeah, but it's just like family's family, you know? And even though that I didn't really know them because I was so young, but they knew me. And we went to some of the tourist stuff. We went to the Coliseum. We did all that stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. But the best part of the trip was that my dad and we all agreed we wanted to live like they lived. We wanted to, live where they live, and they lived in this place called Castle Breton, which is a neighborhood outside of Rome, like the downtown Rome, about 15 minutes outside. And it's actually where there was a church there that actually the church was home to Cardinal Ratzinger, who ended up being Pope Benedict II.
Yeah,
Or the 16th. I'm sorry, Pope Benedict the 16th.
the new one, right?
Not the new one. Before Pope Francis, it was Pope Benedict the 16th.
I don't follow the popes.
Yeah, that's okay. And every cardinal has a church in Rome. There's over 900 churches.
That's a lot of cardinals.
That's a lot of
Not-
churches.
Yeah.
And every cardinal has a church in Rome, and his church was in Castle Breton. And my Italian family over there, they knew him very well, and they showed us his church, and they showed us, the neighborhood. They have ice cream shops everywhere. They have little shops, and I think one of the best things too is I have my cousins, and then that are older, and then they have a son who's my age, and he's a businessman. And he's just like me, and he runs his own business online. He's so smart. He's so intelligent. And I'm like, I can't believe I didn't know you.
Yeah.
And we talk all the time now. We text.
Wow.
And we it really is awesome. It's something I think that's really special. And I was kind of shocked that, he was talking to me, and he was telling me how the Italian government doesn't really support businesses, small businesses and that kind of growth. And I thought that's interesting, someone building a business here, and how I know Americans heavily support small businesses. I've seen it. I go to the businesses downtown, or they give a lot of assistance and benefits to people who start businesses. It's not the same in Europe, or at least in Italy, from my knowledge. And I thought it was interesting learning about that and talking to me about it. And he speaks pretty good English. And also, though, as a little side note, he took me around in the evenings. We were with my family, and he took me around in the evenings to hang out with his friends.
That's nice.
So we went to bars. We went out. I mean, we were in Naples together. We went out to Florence. I mean,
Favorite city?
I love Rome. I'm a Roman at heart, I guess. And because my family's Romans. They're Romans, Don't get me started on Napolitans. They don't really.
Oh boy.
There's a big feud. Florence is a beautiful city too. So much art. You would love it, Mac.
So
And there's so much art over there. But he brought me around with his friends. That none of them spoke English, by the way. I was struggling, guys. I was struggling. It was so difficult to be able to communicate. But going back to the original conversation, I was able to smile at them a lot, and they were able to see my face, and I was able to see it, and they knew that I was coming at it from a good heart, trying my best,
She's ear to ear.
Ciao, and and it was really beautiful. It was something I will never forget. And not only a smile, a wave, I think that, universal things like that are really, really cool and important and necessary. And there's just a bigger world out there, and there's always more to learn, more to grow, and more people to meet and see. And I actually can't wait to go back. I can't wait for them to come back to America so I can do the same that they did for us.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's really interesting because, like, it's not the same, but going out to Kentucky and just being welcomed in the same like, these are random people I barely know.
You
I
went
was
to Kentucky?
I went to Kentucky over
Is
the
that what
summer.
some of your or
No,
random
just
people?
random people. I was just going to work on a thing with Boyd Station, and it was just kind of me jumping into it and being welcomed by people.
Oh, great! Yeah.
It's Cincinnati, Kentucky, and I have never met more people that are hospitable.
Hospitable.
Yes, hospitable, and they are like, these are random people that I'm meeting, and I met this guy in a hobby shop, and then he took me out to dinner places, and he's not even from Kentucky. He's from the Philippines.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, he's like, you know what? Come out to the Philippines before March. I'm like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, we'll take care of everything. And I'm like, he's like, just get the flight. I'm like, I don't even know you. And he was so open, and it's just like that hospitality. I've never experienced anything such like that. So you're making me really want to go to Italy.
I would just say travel in general,
Yeah.
especially as you're young,
Right.
because as you get older, your body decays. It's just the truth, My family, God bless them, it was difficult for them to keep up. I mean, Rome is a walking city. You don't go there if you can't walk, or if you can't, move around, because that's how you get around. I mean, my cousins over there, they're, up in age a bit. They move like they're 20 years old. They're hopping and stuff. And then my dad was like, what's going on?
No preservatives in the hand.
No. It's true.
Oh, no, yeah.
Their food is so
Natural
and delicious. It's so good.
You're really making a really good pitch on Italy.
I'm not even pitching it, bro.
Sponsored by visititaly.com.
It's just
It's
beautiful.
Speaking of sponsors and something beautiful, we are sponsored by Scrimshaw Media.
Whoa. Thanks, Scrimshaw.
Yeah, thanks, Scrimshaw, for the lovely studio and the new space of the podcast coming soon.
That's exciting for you.
That's very exciting.
And
that's very nice of them. I mean, that's cool.
He's a wonderful friend. He was on the podcast last week, technically, when it came out. But I had him on, and we actually decided to talk. We talked so much that we went out and grabbed dinner.
Wow.
At the lovely little Italian place in the Market Square. What's it called?
Oh, Altavia.
Altavia. Oh my goodness, I felt like I was underdressed. But we went there and just grabbed what is it? Something. Oh, was it escargot? It was something. Yeah, it was something really good, hand thing, really good. But we were talking so much that we were just like, okay. I think we got done at like 10 p.m. So we were like 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's all we did. Talk.
Yeah.
And it was so good. And he's like, yeah, I was like looking for a sponsor. He's like, yeah, I'd love to. So I have a studio now out in, partially of a studio and with the sponsor, and it's out in the Squirrel Hill area.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact address, but you can look up Scrimshaw Media online and on Instagram and everywhere else, and they're still working on the website. Give them some time. But if you like pet photography, and let's be real, who doesn't like dogs and cats on the internet of all the places? Like, I think what is it, like, rule 1 is don't mess with cats on the internet.
That's a great documentary.
Yes, it is. Well, it's a great documentary that it is.
Yes,
there is a warning.
Not the situation.
Yeah, the situation. But
yeah,
rule 1, don't mess with cats. So, if you hate animals, don't hate animals, and go to Scrimshaw Media, because who doesn't like animals? Like, if you just want to see photos of dogs and cats, or maybe even get your photo of your dog and cat, go to them, because they will make sure your service is unlike any other. And that is that hashtag ad.
Beautiful. Yeah. Speaking of sponsors, I would like to thank my sponsors as well.
right ahead.
The sponsors that have supported 1984, just like your sponsor. I mean, they're the people that help make things happen. They help make things happen, whether it's the space, whether it's the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust that have given us the beautiful theater and the rehearsal space that we're able to use. And work in, whether that's the Talent Group Agency supporting us, and Salvo Strategies and Lowe's and Home Depot to supply our wood and our lumber for our set, whether that's Golden Triangle Barbershop giving us the support because they believe in what we're doing. And also, of course, Miller Shoe Store, my own parents' shoe store that helped to put.
I need to get some shoes there.
Yes, absolutely. You have to get some shoes there.
I'm overdue.
They not only support me full-heartedly, they also helped create the set, and they always have my back, and I always appreciate that. So thank you to all of our sponsors.
Yes,
in
thank you.
Yeah,
1984.
thank you.
And,
I can't wait to see what you guys sponsored.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
But we are closing on a longer version of this podcast because I think we just talked for another 30 minutes.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I think
It's been fun.
This
That's
has
been fun.
I'm more than happy to have you guys on, and this has been literally like grabbing coffee with friends. That's the point. But one last question for the both of you.
Mm.
You better have a different answer, Mark, because I know you just took up coffee. How do you, Mac, stay caffeinated?
Energy drinks, bro. I have one every single day. I gotta run on it.
Any specific
Uh,
or brand flavor?
dang, you want me to give the brand?
Yes, you. This is down to the specifics.
All right.
I-
Come on, we just talk about truth.
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, we're
you're
gonna
right.
put you on spot.
All right. There's this new sport Celsius that just came out. I don't even know the flavor, but man, that's been my go-to. I love energy drinks. I'm addicted to it. I can't go without it. So, that's me, bro.
What if it's not a Celsius? Tea or coffee?
Oh, I kind of don't like both, especially up here because y'all do like hot tea. That's weird to me. Sorry, everybody who likes hot tea, but I don't know, man. I've always been, sweet tea, iced tea.
Sweet tea.
So sweet tea is the bread and butter. I'd probably go sweet tea. I'm not a big coffee person, man. I tried it for like 2 months, and you know what? I quit the energy drinks, and then I was just like, man, I gotta go back.
They had you.
Had me. They had
After
a
you
grip
wrote.
on me. That's my addiction.
There we go. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks. And Mark, have you picked up any new coffee? I mean, since we last talked, you said you finally got into coffee.
Yeah. Well, that not in the last podcast, but yeah, no. Last time we spoke, yeah, my Italian family they gave me a gift and they gave me an espresso maker,
The good ones.
the best one.
I need to know the brand because I actually just had mine fall apart.
It starts with an M. I don't remember the brand, but it's like 2 colors. It's
Right.
red and green.
I expect a photo and the brand because that is going to be a lovely podcast thing.
I
that
got you.
I'm going
I got
to be
you.
doing.
No, it was such a nice gift. It was like the last day that we were there, and they gave it to us. I was like, you didn't have to do that. Yeah, I did so much stuff. It's like,
You take it on the plane.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I took it on the plane.
So wait,
I took it on the plane.
was it your carry-on?
It was in somewhere. It was there. I got it.
His pocket, like.
No, it was big. It was like.
How did you explain that to?
I think I put it in the big suitcase that was checked.
Okay.
Oh, we had a horrible time going through the airport coming home because my mom had the biggest bag you've ever seen in your life. Like she's carrying 4 fugitives across the border or something.
my
She did not. She did not.
No, but like she had all this Italian foods and like the bag ripped. And, it was too heavy to go through like the check-in, so we actually had to take stuff out.
Oh my god.
All this lines going, and oh my god, it was such a horrible time. It's funny now, but
Then it was not.
no, my dad was like, just get rid of it, just throw it on the ground. Don't me, come on. Yeah, he's like, Paul, stop. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, because my brother actually had to leave a couple days early for work. So it was just us 3 in the airport.
Oh dear.
Stop. You're making a scene. Right?
Oh my god.
And we had to move things out. We put it in our bags. We said leave things. And then we finally got under the limit, the weight limit.
Oh, I was gonna say the weight limit, and it also sometimes costs more if it.
Oh my God, don't even get me started. She should not even have had a big bag. She should have had 2 smaller bags.
What do you put the coffee maker in?
I don't know, but not. We brought up a lot of gifts for them. That's why she brought the big bag. We brought like a big. It was actually their great grandfather, Gildo, an Emina Gildo, and
What does it mean?
It was a draw, literally a hand sketched drawing.
Wow.
And that was one of our gifts to them, and they actually have it in their home in a town called Villetta Barea. It's in central Italy of the region of Abruzzo, and that's where they have like their summer residence. They get away from all the tourists. Tourism is the number one thing in Italy, and the authentic real Italians, they go to their other residencies to live for vacation, right? And that's where that sign is over there, and it's like 3,000 miles above sea level. It's a town no more than 700 people that live there.
There's the best towns.
There's I mean, it's just it's like a fake place.
So quaint.
It really is.
It's old, quaint.
Not only quaint, it's just beautiful. It's just in Italian, bellissimo.
Yeah, Mac, we're gonna go on a trip. We've got to.
Funny.
Yeah, no, it's I can't wait to go back, and I can't wait for them to come here. So, like I said, so we can do the same thing that they did for us. Just like my grandma did. It's a little cycle going on here. So, cool. Thanks for having us on.
New coffee. What are you using with the coffee maker? What
making espresso? What kind
brand?
of coffee?
Yes, brand.
Oh, Lazo. I think it's called Lazo. It's the coffee grounds that they gave me.
Oh,
Yeah,
like the Italian.
Yeah, that's what they gave me. So I'm using those coffee grounds, and I'm making espresso.
What's your go-to whenever you're leaving the house or something?
Because I don't always have time to make it. I don't always make it.
He runs on life.
I run on water, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Stay hydrated.
I told you I run on water before, and I still do. I will say I have tried recently because I've been having to focus more and more as the show gets closer. I have tried a Ghost energy.
Oh,
I know.
goodness.
I was like having like the shakes.
So funny.
No, I was having the shakes. I don't ever have that much before, but it kept me focused for a little bit the one time I needed it. But like definitely not for me.
Oh no. When you said energy drinks, I was just like that. I know someone that actually got stage 2 liver disease because they drank what is it? Rockstar.
Rockstar energy.
Rockstar and Monster. And I mean, hey, if you use it, I mean, I'm glad that you can do it moderately.
Monster, there's a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah, no, Monster,
It touching that.
It put them through that. And I mean, Celsius, that's fair. That's tame in comparison.
Yeah. People drink Ghost like all the time.
I don't know.
Like good. That it.
You like
Very
it?
good.
It used to be my like everyday go to. Like
What is it between Ghost and Celsius?
Yeah,
No, I'm
Ghost makes me crash though. Celsius doesn't make me crash.
Agree.
No.
I definitely felt that.
Yeah.
Same thing. The only drinks that I can ever have from Monster are the rehabs
Okay.
because those don't make me crash. Everything, every other energy with the medication that I'm on, it'll make me jittery. It'll make me shaky.
Really?
My eyes shake
That's interesting.
in a weird, crazy way.
I don't know. I feel like when I drink energy drinks, it just puts me into like a state of mind. Like obviously, like I don't know. It like I see how people like have anxiety like attacks on it and everything like that, and like feel a bunch of anxiety. Like I love it though.
If it works for you, then
like I just love that feeling because that's like every single day I gotta persevere and just get through that too. So like it's like a little challenge for myself as well that I'm just used to getting by.
Do you think you're reliant on it though?
Oh yeah.
At least you're aware.
you should get a sponsor.
Oh, dude.
We're all relying on something.
Yeah, that is what
we all need stuff.
Regarding to drinks and stuff, is if you're drinking something caffeinated, one thing that is really good is a carb. That way it can soak it up and you can be satiated and full, but that caffeine will run through your system a whole lot quicker, and that is why you crash.
Yeah.
So getting a carb, not even just a donut, maybe a sandwich, something that's hearty, that's going to satiate you and soak up that caffeine, not just run that caffeine through you. Because like I'm on medication and I have to eat for that to work properly. Because if you're just putting caffeine in your system, that's like just putting ethanol in your tank. You're not going to put pure ethanol in your gas tank.
Yeah,
it's going to be a percentage of that ethanol
for sure.
So that's my 2 cents. Go ahead.
Caleb, thanks for having us on the podcast.
Yes.
Thanks again.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys were great. And anyways,
not the hand. He's going for the hand. There we go. I guess
Yeah.
Texas, bro.
thanks so much, guys, for coming on. We will call it there because they have somewhere to be. But thanks again. These guys were great. And remember to always stay cool, meet a new friend, talk to someone new, and stay caffeinated. Thanks, guys.
And come see 1994.
Thank you, Mama.